Welcome to Check It Out with Jessica Lee. Today's guest is Elizabeth Su, who is the CTO of CP Group. Elizabeth, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jessica. It was a great honor to be here.
I know that you've had a great success career that spans different industries, different companies, and now you're at this very big global company. So can you share a little bit about CP Group and your journey with us?
Yes, and the CP Group is one of the largest international conglomerates and headquartered in Bangkok. And it has three businesses. One is food, from seed to ready-to-eat food. You can buy CP Wandan from Costco. And the second one is the retail. The retail, we have more than 10,000 stores. And the largest one are Costco equivalent called the Macro and the Lotus. And the smallest one are the 7-Elevens. If you go to Thailand, all the 7-Elevens belong to CP Group. The third group is about digital. We have over 100 digital channels, the second largest telecom in Thailand, largest broadband provider in Thailand. We also have the largest e-payment. And we have a lot more business that we invest over the years. So CP is a great company and is the #1 company to work for in Thailand and Southeast Asia.
And as a CTO, what are you trying to do there?
Oh, my job is to listen to all the BU's need to help them go through this digital transformation, getting to the digital 4.0. That means that automate our manufacturers and also to really do the digital stores, and as well as providing more digital products through our telecom and the e-payment and other businesses. And it's about how we're going to improve our shrimp production, because we're #1 in shrimp production. Those things, like using AI to look at the pigs, how the pigs can live a better life and to have the healthy diet during this period of time when the piglet was given birth. And every 2 weeks we even give a different formula to all the piglets, and to really track what is the best DNA and what is the best food for the pigs. This is a very interesting, very intriguing business. I learned so much.
So one of the other thing I want to ask in the supply chain is blockchain, because isn't that being used to track supplies, make sure it's authentic and all of that?
You are so absolutely right. So we can track from the seed to the soil to fertilizer level, all the way like which manufacturer made this food, who really examined this food, and all the 9 yards. I think right now the world is so connected, and we can trace back where the food was produced and what was added to our food, our table.
Yes, and I mentioned that because I know that I read stories from IBM about using blockchain to help the supply chain industry. And you actually worked at IBM for a while. Your career spanned. Talk to us about your journey a little bit and your background. You studied math or science.
Give you a little bit background about myself. I was born and raised in China, and my mother was a math teacher who wanted me to be perfect in every single subject. And my father was an English professor who's from Beijing University. He wanted me to be creative. And I used to play with the boys when I was little. When I had a muddy with the boys when I was little, I was not happy. My father just said, you know what, you can play with the boys, with a pretty dress anytime, and just having a good time, and as long as you love it. I felt like they both passed away, but I felt they are always there patting on my back of my shoulder, say, you can always play the boys' game, wear pretty dresses, and with a style, with a smile.
Okay.
So that's my childhood. And I went to Beijing University and studied space physics and I wanted to be a rocket scientist. And later on, I just fell love into fashion design, really wanted to become a fashion designer. So when I came to the States, I had a master in atmospheric science and also a bachelor in space physics, but I wanted to go to New York to be a designer. But on the other side, I felt, I didn't have money. I only had $45 when I came to San Francisco. I just didn't know how to make money and then to make a living as a designer. So I chickened out and to get my PhD. And at the same time got a computer science master. I moved to the Silicon Valley in 1995, started my tech career, working for IBM. We built the very first version of a digital library, which is content management. That generates more than $1 billion for IBM nowadays. And I was mentored by the IBM fellow, Josephine Chen, by Beth Smith. She right now is the head of the Watson Research. And the blockchain is coming out of there. So those two ladies were the best to me. And they taught me how to think, act, take the responsibility as a leader. And later on, I moved to a company called Vitra Technology that was unicorn in the Silicon Valley. We went IPO for $6.8 billion. And after only 3 years. So it's incredible. I was promoted to SVP engineering, product management, product marketing, and customer support, professional service. So I was given this opportunity. I was able to practice what I learned from IBM and getting into my job and then working with the customers. And people ask me, how did you get a promotion so quickly? And can you share with us about your career success? So I wrote a PowerPoint called the 10 Steps to a Successful Career. Gave a talk at the Santa Clara Library. Over 200 people showed up. After that, I was asked to give speeches almost every another week. And finally, someone said, you should go teach at Stanford. Me teaching at Stanford? I never went to Stanford. And then I went to Stanford, continue education, continue study. They said, sure. So they gave me my own class. I taught there many years. And the student asked me, why don't you write a book? Write a book. Me writing a book? So, with my students' courage, and they also gave the name of the book called The Myth of Promotion. And that's how I became a lecturer and also as well as a teacher. That my parents were really thrilled because they always wanted me to be a professor.
I'm going to ask you to share with us then a couple of the steps in here.
Yes.
So we can learn from you. Especially, I think there's a lot of women looking for tips on a career advancement.
Yeah, I would say the first thing is you have to think about your goal. That your goal have to have 3 levels. First level goal is survival. When I came to the state, my goal is to survive. Second one is success. That you want to be successful, you want to find a goal that is beyond your own survival, saving a few dollars, saving for the kids' education, to do something that it can be successful, including learning a new skill, getting to a new frontier, like AI right now, right? And the third thing is about superior. I call it leaving a legacy. And I said my goal, pretty daunting. I said, 4 L's. Number 1, to live to my fullest potential. Number 2, to love people around me, to enable them to live their fullest potential. Number 3, to learn from people around you and mentor people. Number 4 is to leave a legacy, to help others, and also to build something that is useful for the world. And then in a class, you asked me to share some steps. I think one thing that is so critical for people to think to think like an executive is to practice something called a multi-dimensional thinking.
Multi-dimensional thinking. Okay, what does that mean?
What I mean is, if you look at this as a triangle, I would say if we start our career at entry level, we have to learn how we think like a director, VP, CEO, board member, and customers.
So think multiple layers above you and then try to think about what their concerns and goals are and then how you can help achieve
exactly.
that. Okay.
For example, if you are the engineer, you talk to a VP of sales, and they have a critical customer issue, it's not like, okay, I fixed the problem. It's not like that. It's more about how you're going to make customer production go up, will not go down. So that's the level of thinking. And when you look at a shareholder wants you to become more profitable. And how are you going to expand your business? That is the multi-level dimensional thinking that I'm teaching at my class. There are many other steps that I think we can share more.
Right. Get the book to learn it all. And now you brought other books that you think would be great for women to read.
Yeah, I like this book. If you search my book, that will come up with 2 other books. It's called Rise and Move. And basically, Patty Azarello is one of the writer I admire. I would say that her theory is do better, look better, and connect better. I hope someday you'll interview her because it is really great to see another women leader who summarize those things and willing to share. So do better. I'm talking about do better. I have branding, other things. Do better, connect, networking as well as one of my steps. Do better, look better, and also connect better.
Okay, so now that we've talked about that, I want to ask you for your future look as far as what would you like to do this year. I know you mentioned being on board, being a board member is important. Can you talk more about that and why is that important?
Well, I think women are representing more than 50% of purchasing power, at least in the consumer space. So if we are not in the board, if we're not on the spot that we can tell our need, the products will be built for guys. Because guys are in charge at this point. I think for that, we got to have a voice to express our need. On the other side, for me personally, I love technology. And also I love to see the potential that the AI and the other disruptive technologies are going to bring to our world. Think about the AI. AI is as good as the data and as good as the person who trained them are. If we as women are not in the technical role, we're not in the position to train the AI, in the future, AI is going to become male. Even though they're called a Siri, all the other ladies' name, but in their mind, in the AI's mind, they're more male versus representing who is going to make the purchasing decisions in this world. I think we as women, at least we should represent that 50%.
Yes, I think having the diversity and inclusion in the engineering team is critical because then it will represent the consumer side, the users, because you're producing a product and often we all have biases. So having that diversity of people who create the products, I think it's definitely important.
Yes, absolutely. And also you think about at the technical level, yes, that diversity is extremely important. And the board room is even more so. So I think of me as a person, as a technology, that I can bring the international experience, bring my Southeast Asia experience. I live in the Silicon Valley for about 30 years, and that experience and the technology. I'm the advisor for MIT Innovation Initiative. I mentor a lot of startups. I felt that experience can help companies to really take on this next wave of disruptive technology, going through the digital transformation and utilize the latest technology like AI, IoT, to really expand their market, not only U.S. market, but the global market.
That's very exciting. I think that's one of the things that I do want to bring up is the way you actually have small groups to go hiking as a way to mentor. I think that's really a great way to get a good workout and also help each other.
Yeah, so I always believe in this parallel communication. You go hiking, we go hiking, shopping, and anything, and I can mentor people. I think it's really great. And this is really, a great opportunity for us to pass that legacy to the next generation.
Elizabeth, I think a lot of people would like to know, when you move up in the corporate ladder, how do you get actually to the C-suite? How do you get to that level?
Jessica, I never even thought I was going to be a C-suite person. I always wanted to be Vera Wang.
Vera Wang, yes.
Yeah, I always wanted to be the designer. But at one time, when I was working with our HR partner, SVP at the Vitria, and Alan, his name, Alan Chain, he said, Elizabeth, you should be a CEO or a CTO. I said, Elizabeth, you should be a CTO. I said, what? Me be a CTO? He said, yeah, because you can simplify the technology in a way other people can understand. That's the first one. Second thing is, you are not free to be the number one person. I said, what do you mean number one person? He said, you're not afraid to make decisions, and you're very good at involving other people to make decisions with you, and you're able to find ways to make that happen. And third thing is, he said, you can connect technology to the real world. He said, with that three aspect, you have all the attribute to be a CTO.
To be successful in the CTO role, yes. Leadership skill, right? How do you motivate people and get them to achieve this common vision?
Yes, the technology vision that you have enough technical as your strengths, and also you really have that courage to make decision and live by it and then lead the team through it. He said that is a vision, and live by it that you can become. So I had that seed in mind in 2004, 2005, when I became a SVP of engineering. And then since he said that, I try to live up to that standard. Try to say, can I bring this technology to the reality? Can I simplify this technology that other people understand? Can I really work with other people to come up with a technical decision? And can I make this technology useful? And then to make money and to change the world for the better. So when I was hired as a head of engineering for the digital service management at the BMC.
BMC, yes.
Yeah, BMC. And then they also gave me a title as the CTO of the BU. So because I need to engage with our customers, and I was playing that role. And literally, I practiced what I said in my book. Remember, we said you have to have a virtual position. So I had this virtual position of a CTO in my head since 2005. I practiced that. So when I became the CTO, I felt, I've been here already.
Okay.
And then when our company as BMC had a vacancy at the company level, I was promoted after a year and a half.
That's great.
Because I felt mentally.
You've been practicing.
I think you have to think about it. You not only just have to look like one, you also have to think like one. I think for the midst of the promotion, you got to think like one and act like one. So if you want to be a CTO, you cannot just stay in your cube writing code. You got to be there with the customers, with the analysts, and with your brilliant technologists, and I try to come up with a great technology and to showcase why your technology is better. So like at BMC, we build MyIT, Smart IT. When the customer call in, we would know that what desktop they're on, what software they have, what are the trends, what are the problems that are currently happening in this corporate. And we can equip those Smart IT to and MyIT to help customer support engineers to be more effective, right? And we also brought Remedy into the cloud.
Yes.
I'm so proud of that because I didn't do them alone, but I was there with the team. We made a decision together with the CEO, with other executives, and we made it happen.
Okay, that's a big project to bring Remedy to the cloud.
Yes.
So that's wonderful. And I appreciate you bringing your book here to try to share with us some of the tips that you have in here. So that's great. It's been a pleasure to have you here, Elizabeth.
It was my great honor and really great talking to you. And you are one of the most technical, I would say that, anchor woman I've ever met.
Thank you very much. So please, if you're interested, get her book, learn more about how to advance your career. Elizabeth Sue, thank you so much for being on the show. Take it up with Jessica Lee. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.